The first article that is being reviewed is called An Expert's Guide to Understanding Twice Exceptional Children. When reading this article about 2E children, it was clear that the author was trying to identify the gap that gifted children can have when they possess a learning disability. This article was well written with the headings which broke the thoughts down into sections, and it was also easy to read. There could have been a little more background on the 2E students, like the statistics of the number of children classified as gifted but also having a learning disability. The article seemed to dive too fast into the problem with 2E students. For parents of the 2E students, this article was informative in that it provided the 5 resources, including giving to the website's addresses. This article is also beneficial to teachers as it opens their eyes to something as many people do not realize, that children who are classified as twice exceptional children appear to be polar opposites in that they are gifted, but yet they do have a learning disability. It seems that most people would think that these kids with learning disabilities are thought to be dumb. The next article that is being reviewed is called Communication Disorders in Children and Adolescents. This article appears to be more unorganized, as the topic seems to jump around in places to where you have to go back and think about what is being talked about. One thing that is really not addressed in the article is the challenge for teachers of these children, which is due to the communication disorders where the teachers sometimes do not know if the child understands what they are telling them. This is caused by the child not being able to properly express themselves. The statistics are eye-opening to really catch your attention, and may have been better served early in the article to really draw the reader into the topic. The next article that is being reviewed is How Hearing Loss Affects School Performance. The article provided a good explanation regarding the impact of hearing loss on students and began by asking the reader to envision a student with these problems. This was an easy read article that really emphasized the need to properly assess the student and provide assistance early in the child's life. The article does a good job in giving examples of things teachers do that can frustrate the child, such as facing the blackboard while talking, even though a student with a hearing loss needs to see the teacher, and also does a good job of giving signs for the teacher to look for in detection for the sake of early intervention. This article was well written with no concerns or problems. The next article that is being reviewed is Gifted Ed Students Are More Than Really Smart Kids. This article was good in that it was written by a teacher that gave her perspective. Also, this article gave the teacher's experiences and how she dealt with the gifted students and gave examples for teachers reading the article to follow. For a teacher reading the article, the writing was easy to relate to. It was helpful to know the 4 C's and the fact that these should be incorporated into a lesson plan. Any teacher can take this and compare it to any lesson plan that they have. This article gave a good example of how to use collaboration. One of the 4 C's in helping students are that high flyers in math. The next article that is being reviewed is called Low Special Ed Graduation Rates Haunt Educators. Using an actual parent's perspective in describing the situation really helps the reader understand how important it is to have a special education plans to help students graduate with a true high school diploma. These certificates of completion do really benefit the child. Having this case existing in Mississippi opens the eyes of the reader since it is about a state on the Arkansas border. This article is helpful because it educates teachers and parents about ways to ensure that the student or the child truly graduates high school. The next article that is being reviewed is called Test Taking Tips for Twice Exceptional Students. This article was informative regarding test taking for twice exceptional students. The assumption is that these exceptional students will perform well on tests, but the article helps explain some of the environmental conditions that can cause a student to struggle on a test. This article is good for teachers in that if they are dealing with parents of twice exceptional students, they can give a laundry list of items that can help facilitate better test results for these children. This article is easy to read due to the list of actions being provided throughout the writing by the author and helps the teacher understand that it is a partnership between the parent and the teacher to create the right environment that is beneficial so the child can succeed on a test. The next article that is being reviewed is called New Understanding and Hope for Children on the Autism Spectrum, based in brain and movement sciences. This was a good article to help understand that children with ASD can be helped. The brain of the children can be improved through certain steps. Providing the list of steps to help improve the brain aids the parent to help the child. This article uses the story of Sammy, a child with ASD, to explain the benefits of stimulation for a child's understanding. This article was well written and easy to read due to the list in the story of Sammy. This article was also helpful to teachers to help understand how the brain of an autistic child works and benefits the teacher for preparing plans for the student and for talking to the parent. The next article that is being reviewed is called My Banished Brother. This article was in first person and showing what she, the writer, experienced in having a brother that was developmentally disabled. The thought that these children are a waste to society was exposed by her seeing her brother in his room, and it was eye-opening to the reader because in this day and time, it does not happen like this. Thus, the reader must be aware that there are older people in the era that probably still believe that. Learning that Down syndrome's children can have a real life, this article could have been a little better if it was related to a story in today's time. To create a point and reference as a comparison which would have added more benefit to the reader. The story did make the article relatively easy to read, but just a few facts to end the article may have added a little more value to the reader. The next article is called The A Word, Places Autism Front and Center. The author writes about the A Word television show, which really educates viewers on what all autism children have to endure. This helps viewers realize that there are children like 5-year-old Joe Hughes in the world, and it helps the viewers understand the difficulties of exceptional children, such as with those with autism. This article was an easy read, was informative, and was well written. It was interesting to see a perspective on a topic like this in a different country other than the United States. This article narrates the show's desire to show the battle the battle to be normal for an autistic child and the frustration that can occur for the child and the parent. This article can spur the reader to look for this show on the internet and watch it in order to learn. Thank you.